With a prophetic spirit, ethos, and motivation, Unima is ready forming the quality people based on Islam, affording the excellent graduates in science and Islamic in behavior. Welcome to Universitas Muhammadiyah Magelang. It has 7 faculties with 21 study programs. Faculty of Economics and Business, Faculty of Law, Faculty of Education, Faculty of Islamic Religion, Faculty of Engineering, Faculty of Health Sciences, Faculty of Psychology and Humanities.
Established on August 31st, 1964, UNIMA continues to be committed in forming an excellent and Islamic generation. From where we began, we have succeeded in building an intellectual community that enriches and enhances humanity as a contribution to the nation.
For the superior generation, UNIMA is supported by advanced technology facilities for industrial research and development. Standing in a strategic location, our campus is very accessible even for people with disabilities. This is a manifestation of an inclusive educational environment. Maintaining a commitment to the environment and society, UNIMA always takes concrete actions to create synergy and collaboration with community. In addition, UNIMA also partners with stakeholders and industrial sector to facilitate and provide convenience for the students. Is unique with different talents and interests. Therefore, UNIMA provides opportunities for students to develop themselves to be the best through their interests and talents, both academic and non-academic. We embrace our diversity, growing the future together. For Indonesia and for the world. UNIMA, moving and inspiring.
Jadilah inspirasi, bergerak dengan pasti, melangkah dengan hati, penuh percaya diri.
Ciptakan pendidikan unggul dan profesional, Islami inovatif berkualitas. Bersama UNIMA ciptakan generasi cemerlang dan sejahtera. Bersama UNIMA membangun Nusantara, bergerak menginspirasi.
Carilah generasi Tuhan, kamu meraih cita. Universitas
Ladies and gentlemen, as we are about to begin, please be seated. I would like to say a few things before we start our today's event. I would like to ask for your cooperation in completing this event. Information to participants of the 5th Borobudur International Symposium 2023 in conjunction with Interconnect. During the opening session and symposium, participants are expected to activate the camera, use a virtual background, and mute the microphone until invited by the moderator in the discussion session. Download the virtual background, program book, participant data, book for abstract, and resource materials from the bis.unima.ac.id website. Stay tuned. We have already notified you via WhatsApp groups and emails registered in the conference system. Make sure your internet connection is stable when participating in this conference activity. The symposium is limited to only 500 participants. If colleagues are unable to join via Zoom, kindly watch the live stream on YouTube under Humas Unima. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mahatma Asintia Diatmika, as Master of Ceremony, who will guide the course of the event this morning until the end of the event later. Ladies and gentlemen whom we salute, before we begin, let me greet the guests of honor who are with us today. The Honorable Rector of Universitas Muhammadiyah Magelang, all Vice Rectors of Universitas Muhammadiyah Magelang, the Honorable Co-host University Director, the Honorable Lecturers, Speakers, Keynote Speakers, and the Honorable all participants of this event. On behalf of the organizer of this event, I would like to welcome all of you to this 5th Borobudur International Symposium 2023 in conjunction with Interconnect under the theme Smart and Sustainable, the Synergy of Green Technology and Digital Society. It is a leading annual event that brings together experts, professionals, researchers, and policymakers from various fields to discuss and explore the intersection of green technology and digital society. The conference aims to foster collaboration, knowledge sharing, and innovation to address pressing challenges related to sustainability, technological advancement, and the digital transformation of society. Ladies and gentlemen, in the morning, we will have an opening ceremony followed by a seminar session with special speakers from around the world, such as Indonesia, Malaysia, Tanzania, Hungary, Turkey, Taiwan, Philippines, and others. Then in the afternoon, we will hold an online Q&A session for all attendees. Ladies and gentlemen, let us open this seminar with the recitation of the Holy Quran, which will be recited by Arif Yanuar. To Arif Yanuar, the floor is yours.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى أن رآه استغنى إن إلى ربك الرجعى أرأيت الذي ينهى عبدا إذا صلى أرأيت إن كان على الهدى أو أمر بالتقوى أرأيت إن كذب وتولى ألم يعلم بأن الله يرى كلا لئن لم ينته لنسفعا بالناصية ناصية كاذبة خاطئة فليدع ناديه سندع الزبانية كلا لا تطعه واسجد واقترب صدق الله العظيم.
Thank you to Arfi Anwar who has recited the holy verses of the Quran for us. May Allah always provide guidance and help to all of us. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, please download the virtual background, program book, participant data, book of abstracts, and research materials from the bis.unima.ac.id website. Stay tuned. We have already notified you via WhatsApp groups and emails registers in the conference system. Kami informasikan kepada para peserta virtual background, program book, data partisipan, book of abstracts, dan materi narasumber dapat diunduh pada website bis.unima.ac.id dan sudah kami informasikan sebelumnya melalui WhatsApp group serta email yang terregister di sistem konferensi. Ladies and gentlemen, in the next agenda, we will together sing the national anthem, Indonesia Raya. Our respected ladies and gentlemen, the 5th Borobudur International Symposium 2023 welcome remarks and report will be delivered by Professor Dr. Insinyur Muji Setio STMT as chair of the 5th Borobudur International Symposium 2023. For Professor Dr. Insinyur Muji Setio STMT, the floor is yours.
The Honorable Rector and official partner universities, Assalamualaikum and good morning to all of you. Welcome to the 5th Borobudur International Symposium 2023 in conjunction with the first International Conference on Environment, Green Technology and Digital Society. Prior the main event begin, let me start this speech by reviewing the relationship between green technology and digital society. To this day, sustainable development and the role of technology become ongoing debate. Green technology focuses on developing and utilizing environmentally friendly solutions for a sustainable society. This include renewable energy, waste management, water conservation, sustainable transportation, and green manufacturing. On the one hand, Industry 4.0 integrates advanced technologies such as IoT, AI, big data, robotic, and automation in industrial processes. At the same time, digital society has rapidly developed. They use tools, platform, and network for communication, commerce, governance, healthcare, education, and entertainment. Recognizing the potential for synergy between this field, our present conference expects contribution from keynote speakers and presenters to explore the contribution of green technology and digital society to sustainable development. This is the first time we have held two conferences in one event. The 5th Borobudur International Symposium and the first Interconnect. Ladies and gentlemen, to direct our discussion, we invite world-class keynote speakers. They are Prof. Thomas Kifevel, PhD, from the Nelson Mandela African Institution of Science and Technology, Tanzania. The second, Professor Madihah Mohsaudi from University Science Islam Malaysia. Prof. Hamid Solmaz, PhD from Gazi University, Turkey. Professor Mustafa Madaris from University Muhammadiyah, Malaysia. Dr. Rohyati Murniningsih from Unima. Professor Tang Sumei from Asia University, and Professor Muh Iqbal Abdul Wahab from the International Islamic University, Malaysia. Please give them a round of applause. This symposium was attended by 400 presenters from 8 countries, include Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Taiwan, Hungary, Turkey, Tanzania, and Philippines, and coming from 64 institutions. So, we thanks and appreciate all the co-hosts. Enjoy the discussion. I hope all of you get new insight from this event. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for the welcome remarks and report, Professor Dr. Insinyur Muji Setio STMT. Ladies and gentlemen, please download the virtual background, program book, participant data, book of abstracts, and research materials from the bis.unima.ac.id website. Stay tuned. We have already notified you via WhatsApp groups and emails registered in the conference system. Kami informasikan kepada para peserta, virtual background, program book, data partisipan, book of abstracts, dan materi narasumber dapat diunduh pada website bis.unima.ac.id dan sudah kami infokan sebelumnya melalui WhatsApp group serta email yang terregister di sistem konferensi. Ladies and gentlemen, next up is a welcome speech from Dr. Lili Andriani SAMSI as Rector of Universitas Muhammadiyah Magelang. For Dr. Lili SAMSI, the time is yours.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the honorable participant, distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, and respected scholars. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. All praises belong to Allah, the Almighty, for His grace and mercies. And may salawat and salam be presented to Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I'm deeply honored to welcome you all to the 5th Borobudur International Symposium on Science and Technology and the 5th Borobudur International Symposium on Humanities and Social Science. It is indeed a pleasure to witness the gathering of brilliant minds and innovative thinkers from around the world in this prestigious event. The theme of the symposium, Smart and Sustainable, the synergy of green technology and digital society, resonate profoundly with the current global landscape. In an era marked by rapid technological advancement and the escalating impact of climate change, the imperative for humanities synergy between green technology and the digital society has never been more critical. The symposium serves a platform for researchers, scholars, and practitioners to engage in meaningful discussion, share cutting-edge research findings, and explore collaborative strategies. It is a testament to our collective commitment to find solutions that not only address the challenges of today, but also pave the way for a more sustainable and equitable future. Today, it is with great pleasure that I extend a warm welcome to our esteemed keynote speakers and the leadership of our co-hosting institution who have graciously joined us for the 5th Borobudur International Symposium. A special greeting goes to Professor Thomas Kivivele, PhD from the Nelson Mandela IAST, Tanzania. Professor Madihah M. Saudi, PhD from University Sains Islam Malaysia. Professor Hamid Solmaz, PhD from Gezi University, Turkey. Profesor Mustafa Matderis, expert staff at Pimpinan Pusat Muhammadiyah. Profesor Muhammad Iqbal bin Abdul Wahab from International Islamic University Malaysia. Professor Tang Su Ming from Asia University, Taiwan. Dr. Rohiyati Murniningsih, SEMP, from Universitas Muhammadiyah Magelang, Indonesia. Your expertise, dedication, and invaluable contribution to academia and research inspiring us. We are honored to have you share your insight and perspective during this symposium. And we look forward to the enriching discussion that will undoubtedly emerge from your presentation. I would also like to express my gratitude to the leaders of the co-host institution have a crucial role of fostering academic collaboration and knowledge enhancement. Your commitment to the advancement of education and research is commendable, and we are delighted to have you as our partner in this symposium. A greeting to AKM Temanggung, Institut Seni Indonesia Denpasar, Institut Teknologi Statistika dan Bisnis Muhammadiyah Semarang, Our Lady of Fatimah University, Politeknik Negeri Samarinda, Sekolah Tinggi Ilmu Farmasi Yayasan Farmasi Semarang, Sekolah Tinggi Teknologi Warga Surakarta, Universitas Balikpapan, Universitas Buana Perjuangan Karawang, Universitas Muhammadiyah Ponorogo, Universitas Muhammadiyah Surabaya, Universitas Negeri Padang, Universitas Pancasila, Universitas Singa Perbangsa Karawang, Universitas Trisakti, Universitas Veteran Bangun Nusantara, University of Saint Anthony, Filipina, Universitas Islam 45 Bekasi, Sekolah Tinggi Teknologi Ronggolawe Cepu, Universitas Mohadi Setiabudi, Politeknik Negeri Banjarmasin. I extend my sincere gratitude to the organizing committee, participants, and sponsors who have contributed to the success of this event. May the insight gained during the symposium propel us toward a future where the synergy of green technology and the digital society become a driving force for positive transformation. In conclusion, I wish everyone fruitful discussion, valuable connection, and memorable experience during the 5th Borobudur International Symposium. Together, let us make the symposium a surrounding success. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for the opening speech, Dr. Lily Andriani, SAMSA. Ladies and gentlemen, please download the virtual background, program book, participant data, book of abstracts, and research materials from the bis.unima.ac.id website. Stay tuned. We have already notified you via WhatsApp groups and emails registered in the conference system. Kami informasikan kepada para peserta, virtual background, program book, data partisipan, book of abstracts, dan materi narasumber dapat diunduh pada website bis.unima.ac.id dan sudah kami infokan sebelumnya melalui WhatsApp group serta email yang terregister di sistem konferensi. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now move to the main session. During the main session, participants were divided into two rooms. The humanities and social science field are those using the HSS code to join the breakout room, while the science and technology field are those using the STE code remained in the main room. Kami informasikan kepada para peserta, pada sesi utama, peserta dibagi ke dalam dua ruang, yaitu bidang Social and Humanities atau yang menggunakan kode HSS untuk join ke dalam breakout room, sedangkan bidang Science and Technology atau yang menggunakan kode STE untuk tetap berada di main room. Participants are expected to actively participate in the discussion session by raising hands and chat box. Henceforth, the admin will unmute the microphone. The attendance links as a symposium participant will be open from the discussion session until the event concludes at 4 p.m., at which point it will be permanently closed. Filling up attendance forms as the foundation for issuing symposium participant certificates. Ladies and gentlemen, now we proceed to the main session for today, which is the keynote speaker session. Many special speakers will give us a lot of insights, and this agenda will be hosted by Mrs. Pristi Sukma Setia Eskom MCom and Mr. Hari Abdul Hakim SHLLM as the moderator. But before I invite them to lead the seminar, let me read their resumes. The first is Mr. Hari Abdul Hakim SHLLM. He is lecturer at the Faculty of Law, Universitas Muhammadiyah Magelang. And Mrs. Pristi Sukma Setia Eskom MCom, who is also a lecturer at the Faculty of Engineering, Universitas Muhammadiyah Magelang. Mr. Hari Abdul Hakim research interests are gender equality and justice and artificial intelligence. And Mrs. Pristi Sukma Setia research interest are human-computer interaction, information system, knowledge management, data mining, and artificial intelligence. They are very productive lecturers in teaching because of the many research grants they have won and also the many publications they have. Ladies and gentlemen, the Science and Technology field, or STE, will be moderated by Mrs. Pristi Sukma Setia Eskom MCom, with four main speakers, namely Professor Thomas Kivevel, PhD, from the Nelson Mandela AIST Tanzania, Professor Madihah M. Saudi, PhD, from University Science Islam, Malaysia, Professor Hamid Solmas, PhD, from Gazi University, Taiwan, and Professor Mustafa Madderis, expert staff at PP Muhammadiyah, Indonesia. Meanwhile, the Humanities and Social Science field, or HSS, will be moderated by Mr. Hari Abdul Hakim SHLLM with three keynote speakers, namely Professor Moh Iqbal bin Abdul Wahab, International Islamic University, Malaysia, Professor Xu Mei Tang, Asia University, Taiwan, and Dr. Rohiati Murniningsih, SAMP, from Universitas Muhammadiyah, Magelang. Let us welcome The moderators for today's seminar, Mrs. Pristi Sukma Setia Eskom Mkom and Mr. Hari Abdul Hakim SH LLM. To Mrs. Pristi Sukma Setia Eskom Mkom and Mr. Hari Abdul Hakim SH LLM, the time is yours.
Start this main session. So we are now waiting for the keynote speaker to join in this breakout room. Okay, we will start after the keynote speaker join us for this breakout room.
Indonesia, a heaven on earth, the land of immeasurable diversity. And this is Magelang, a beloved land. The universe provides many beautiful places with the wonders of the world. Unima present to be a milestone in facing a more competitive and inclusive era. With the prophetic spirit, ethos, and motivation, Unima is ready forming the quality people based on Islam, affording the excellent graduates in science and Islamic in behavior. Welcome to Universitas Muhammadiyah Magelang. It has 7 faculties with 21 study programs. Faculty of Economics and Business, Faculty of Law, Faculty of Education, Faculty of Islamic Religion, Faculty of Engineering, Faculty of Health Sciences, Faculty of Psychology and Humanities.
Established on August 31st, 1964, Unima continues to be committed in forming an excellent and Islamic generation. From various backgrounds, we have succeeded in building an intellectual community that enriches and enhances humanity as a contribution to the nation.
For the superior generation, Unima is supported by advanced technology facilities for industrial research and development. Standing in a strategic location, our campus is very accessible even for people with disabilities. This is a manifestation of an inclusive educational environment. Maintaining a commitment to the environment and society, Unima always takes concrete actions to create synergy and collaboration with community. In addition, Unima also partners with stakeholders and the industrial sector to facilitate and provide convenience for the students. We realize that every individual is unique with different talents and interests. Therefore, Unima provides opportunities for students to develop themselves to be the best through their interests and talents, both academic and non-academic. We embrace our diversity, growing the future together. For Indonesia and for the world. Unima, moving and inspiring.
Okay, good morning everyone. Because now we have all the speakers here, then let's start and begin our main session for the presentation. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable keynote speakers, distinguished guest participants, ladies and gentlemen, good morning Professor Dr. Iqbal bin Abdul Wahab. Selamat pagi Ustadz.
Terima kasih. Selamat pagi. Assalamualaikum.
Good morning, Professor Tan. How are you, Prof?
Hello, good morning. Can you hear my voice?
Prof. Yeah,
Hello, good
very
morning.
clear. Hello, Prof. Okay, and last speaker, good morning, Dr. Murni. Profesor Murni, Bunda, selamat pagi, Bun. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Distinguished guest participant, ladies and gentlemen, and it is my great pleasure actually to welcome each and every one of you to the 5th Borobudur International Symposium 2023 in conjunction with the first Interconnect, where this conference is the intellect converge to explore about our theme for today conference. It is on smart and sustainable, the synergy of green technology and digital society. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be your moderator. Let me introduce myself. My name is Harry. This is actually insightful journey to us to come into the realm of innovation, sustainability, and also the digital advancement. Today we gather under the overarching theme on the smart and sustainable, the synergy and of green technology and also digital society. Ladies and gentlemen, our symposium is actually not symposium just for a gathering. It is a catalyst for transformative, informative discussion and collaborative solution. Today we embark on the quest to understand the synergy between green technology and also for the digital society. How these two forces intertwine to shape smarter and also more sustainable for future for us. And without any further delay, ladies and gentlemen, let us dive into the intellectual odyssey, exploring the possibility and also the challenges that lie at the intersection of technology and also the sustainability. And again, we welcome to the Borobudur International Symposium for the Humanity and Social Science. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin our session, so let me read firstly several technical rules for this session. The first, the discussion will run in 3 sessions because we have 3 speakers for today for the humanity and social science. So every session will be delivered by each keynote speaker for about 45 minutes. And after that will be followed by question and answer session for about 15 minutes. So the participants are given the opportunity to deliver the question, respond, and also the discussion to all the keynote speaker here directly after the keynote speaker finish their presentation. So you may also type into the chat box to deliver your question, or also you may directly deliver the question and interact with the keynote speaker for today. Ladies and gentlemen, now allow me please to introduce our keynote speaker. And for the first speaker will be Professor Dr. Iqbal bin Abdul Wahab. He is a senior lecturer at Civil Law Department Ahmad Ibrahim Kuliah of Laws International Islamic University, Malaysia. Professor Iqbal obtained his bachelor degree from IIUM, I think, and also he is obtained his master degree from London University, and then PhD degree from University of Edinburgh, Scotland. Area of Dr. Iqbal's specialization, it is on criminal law, especially on the defense available in the criminal law system, comparative laws of Malaysian common law, and also the civil law of Indonesia. Professor Iqbal also deeply involved in the issues of law and morality, justice, and the sources of law, comparative approach to civil and Islamic law. Wow, we are truly grateful to have had Professor Iqbal with us today. So ladies and gentlemen, now we welcome to the platform for Professor Dr. Iqbal bin Abdul Wahab. Professor Iqbal, you will have 45 minutes to deliver your presentation, and after that we followed with the Q&A session. Professor Iqbal, time is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can I start now?
Sure, Prof.
Okay, thank you so much, my dear.
So you need our help, Prof, to
No,
share
it's
the
all right.
screen?
I think, yeah, if you, I'm okay. I'm okay. I have my
Okay.
slides with me. Okay, thank you so much, my dear brother Hari Abdul Hakim, the moderator for today's program, and respected rector of the university. In the beginning of the program, I think she's around. The vice rectors, the deans of the Fakultas Hukum Universitas Muhammadiyah Magelang, ladies and gentlemen, participants, my dear colleagues. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning to all of you. I'm indeed honored and very grateful for being given this opportunity to participate and also benefit from this very useful and meaningful program organized by University Muhammadiyah Magelang. And for that matter, I'm very thankful to the organizing committee for inviting me to give the keynote content of today's event. And Borobudur, yeah, this is Borobudur International Symposium, actually. And I'm very happy to be together with you this morning. And Magelang, I'm used to Yogyakarta, and Magelang, I believe, is not very far away from Yogyakarta, Mr. Harry, I think. And the topic given to me is on the issues of smart and sustainable, the synergy of green technology and digital society. I'm more of social science, and my background is on criminal laws and penology. So for that matter, I will, in my presentation, my focus is more on issues related to violations of the laws in relation to issues stated in the topic of our meeting. And for that matter, also on issues of technology and also digital aspect of it. Perhaps there will be many experts who are more than competent to talk about it. So my focus is more on the court cases, perhaps, and the laws that's available mostly in Malaysia. So what is smart and sustainable? You know, the synergy of green technology and digital society is a concept that highlights the integrations of sustainable, environmentally friendly technologies, what is now known as green technology, and with advanced digital innovations and infrastructures, digital society. This is very, very recent and modern. The intersections of green technology and digital society is a multifaceted area that involves the integration of digital innovations with sustainable environmental practices, which aims to create solutions that are not only technologically advanced, but also sustainable, addressing global challenges, the climate change and resource management. And this intersection is evident in various global initiatives and national strategies. You have the developments of technology, unstoppable developments of and innovations of technologies. But at the same time, you have another issues also, that is protecting the safety, the security, the health, the well-being of the members of the society. So for that matter, you see here the concept of smart and sustainable under United Nations Sustainable Development. United Nations involved here. For instance, on the global scale, the United Nations have developed frameworks to assess the role of technology in fostering sustainability, with initiatives like the Global Enabling Sustainability Initiative, providing resources and best practices for achieving integrated society and environmental sustainability through digital technologies. This perhaps provides guidelines for member states on issues of this nature. So the concept of smart and sustainable synergy of green technology and digital society aligns with several of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, otherwise known as SDG. The Sustainable Development Goals, as initiated and also provided by United Nations. Number 7, for example, affordable and clean energy. So the goal focuses on ensuring access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. The integrations of RIC technology and digital society can contribute to the developments of and implementations of clean energy solution. It is hoped that we will be able to do that. And the SDG number 9, for example, industry, innovations, and infrastructure. The SDG number 11 is sustainable. Oops. Okay, now before that, Harry. The slide, earlier slide, perhaps. Can we go back to the previous one? I think because I have it with me. No, I mean, okay. Because this, okay, okay. Sustainable cities and communities. So this goal aims to make cities and human settlements inclusive. This is about to make sure that the cities and the people living in the cities are safe and free from contamination, perhaps as a result of the developments of technologies, and also the well-being, the good life of the people is not going to be challenged and also disturbed in the name of development. So the SDG number 12, responsible consumption and production, and the Sustainable Development Goals number 13, for example, is climate action. Of course, climate issues has recently been, and not only recently, but has always been a very important issues because it also affects not only certain part of the world, the whole world, in terms of the normal life. There's a possibility that the normal lifestyle will be changed as a result of climate action or climate change. Move to the next slide, please. Thank you. Okay. This is South Korea. If anyone from South Korea, perhaps they can correct me. This is just a general overview. Then I was told that South Korea has taken a lead in relation to issues of this nature. An example of this synergy can be seen in South Korea approach to greening the ICT sector. The country has been a pioneer in adopting green policies, such as the low carbon green growth initiative, leading to significant developments like the 2015 Carbon Neutrality Act. This is very South Korean's approach. And this act emphasizes integrating technology innovation with environmental sustainability, focusing on areas like reducing data center power consumption and employing AI-based system for energy management. So the South Koreans' approach demonstrates how digital technologies can be harnessed to manage energy resources efficiently, highlighting the critical role of digital solutions in achieving carbon neutrality and sustainability. This is one of the very important and interesting approach taken by the South Korean government. Of course, there will be many challenges also, but the most important thing is that initiative has been taken. And I believe not only South Korea, other parts of the world also are taking same actions suitable to the nature and also the interests of the respective countries. Next, please. And the European, of course, in a broader European context, the EU strategy, European Union strategies for reform towards a green and digital future discusses how digital and green transitions can reinforce each other. For example, digital technologies like blockchain and digital twins can aid in material tracing and optimizing traffic flows, respectively. So this is a very European approach. And of course, every country in Europeans, we know that is having competency and also experience in dealing with issues of this nature. And for that matter, to a certain extent, they are more advanced in some other countries, perhaps. It's very good if you could share whatever that they have achieved in order to protect the interests of the community, of the world community, for that matter. And next slide, please. The problem is, this is European experience. Europe, the West, perhaps, includes also America. But at the same time, we also know that every country normally will be the members or the signatories of some of the laws and also United Nations directives or perhaps guidelines. You can be a member, you can choose also not to be a member, you can have some exceptions. On the one hand, you can see the contributions of the West and also European countries, but on the other hand, when it comes to matters of developing technologies, problems also comes from the superpower, perhaps I would say. So this is a responsibility, whether moral or legal, to the human society, which I think they should realize and understand. So we will move to the next slide, please, Hari. So how to balance between these concepts, the synergy between green technology and digital society can be strengthened through integrated policies that align the objective of digital innovation with environmental sustainability. This involves creating frameworks that encourage sustainable practices in the technology sector and regulate environmental impacts. In other words, what it is trying to suggest here is that we have policies, we can develop policies, we can have regulations, and for that matter, what is meant by that is actually passing laws. So law is a tool that is that's considered to be the most effective in order to make sure that there is a balance between developments on the one hand, and at the same time the development is not going to harm and also cause disturbance to the lifestyles of the members of the society, for that matter. So laws, regulations. This is closer to my my expertise, perhaps. And then we move to the next slide, please, Hari. So this is standards and regulations. So standards, rules, and regulations will play a crucial role in driving the green and digital transitions. They will channel investment into green digital solutions, prevent the misuse of market power, and ensure operability between new and older generations of technology, and so on. So at the end of the day, just like I mentioned just now, at the end of the day, I think most of us agree that in order to achieve what we expected. So one of the best ways is to pass new laws in relation to the issue. We will go into that perhaps when we start to discuss the Malaysian experience in relations to the subject and also the problems for that matter. Next slide, please. So this is Malaysian perspective. So the Malaysian government has implemented several laws and initiatives to promote smart and sustainable practices, particularly in the areas of energy efficiency, smart city development, as mentioned just now, United Nations plan, and sustainability disclosure among SME, small and middle-sized entrepreneurships. Some of the key measures and laws include, this is one of them, we have an Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act. The Malaysian Parliament has passed a law aimed at reducing energy consumption and carbon emissions. The act requires the country's largest energy consumers to implement power-saving measures with the goal of reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 45%. Whether we can achieve or not will depend on the consumers, perhaps, or the related institutions and also, that involve in activities of this nature. By 2030, and reaching net zero emissions in 2050. At least we have this act. Next slide, please. Okay. Here is a focus of smart city policies with emphasis on sustainable development and digital society. Practitioners' perspective for Malaysian smart city framework highlight the need for active involvement in sustainable development and the integrations of smart digital marketing capabilities for sustainable property development. The smart city framework. Next. And it's very interesting also that in the 12th Malaysian plan, so the government in this case, emphasizes the importance of advancing sustainability as one of its 3 themes, aiming to guarantee continuous economic growth while protecting the environment and fulfilling the Malaysians' commitments towards global targets. So it's in the 12 Malaysian plans. Focus is on advancing sustainability. One of them, there are 3 themes. One of them is this, which shows the seriousness of the Malaysian government for that matter, ensuring that that the people, citizens, not only in this country, but for that matter, the world citizens will be protected from contaminations or maybe from all the harmful aspects of modern technologies. It focuses on circular economy and integrated water resources management as critical element in building a greener and fairer Malaysia. Next, please. Sustainability disclosure among, we can skip this one. We can move to another one. Next, please. Okay. Now the laws that we have, in relation to the topic of our discussions, or for that matter, particularly in laws related to issues of environment, ensuring the quality of environment in Malaysia. The mother law here is the Environmental Quality Act 1974, Act 127. So according to Tan Sri Abdul Hamid bin Ambong, the Federal Court Judge of Malaysia, in the second National Seminar on Environmental Justice in Malaysia, Issues and Challenges, which was held on the 15th and 18th October 2015, there are at least 34 acts related to the environmental matters. Can you stay here, please? Environmental matters and various regulations, rules and orders passed for the purpose of environmental protection. So we have more or less 34 acts. And from the mother law, the Environmental Quality Act, or EQA, we also have regulations, orders, so many laws. So in 1924, the first legal framework on environmental legislations came in the form of Environmental Quality Act 1974. And that's what enacted and came into force in 1975. So this is the beginning of the story in Malaysia, perhaps. Okay, next. So these are the examples of the laws that we have, apart from the biggest one. We have the Atomic Energy Licensing Act, we have Biosafety Act 2007, Drainage Works Act, Fisheries Act, International Trade, Endangered Species 2008, Irrigation Areas Act, Land Conservation Local Government Act, Merchant Shipping, National Forestry, National Park Plant Quarantine Act, and so on and so forth. This is half of them. There are quite a number of others, perhaps. Next. So now we have the acts, the laws, which was passed by the parliament. And then we have problems, problem of violations. In Malaysia, there are, not only in Malaysia, and I think in most of the countries, we have civil litigation, people against people, citizens against citizens. We also have criminal matters, which means that it involves the state, public prosecutors against the suspect or the accused person. Similarly, here also, this is a good example. This is quite a controversial case at one point of time. The Ketua Pengarah Jabatan Alam Sekitar, the Director Generals of the Alam Sekitar, this environment, against Kajing Tubek, apparently the name of a person and his friends. This is an appeal case, 1997. What happened in this case? The respondent are three of the 10,000 natives living in that part of Sarawak where the Bakun Hydroelectric Project, Bakun Project they call it, is situated. Following the commencements of the project, steps were taken by the appellants. Appellants here are the authorities, state authorities, to compensate the respondents and also to resettle them. Because apparently the area on which they were staying, jungles, are now taken by the state for the purpose of developing a dam, for that matter. So the respondent did not challenge the compensation or the resettlement, but claimed that, number one, the project, if carried through, would adversely affect their fundamental rights, in that their livelihood would suffer from the resulting impact of the environment. Number two, they had been subjected to procedural unfairness. And number three, the authorities in undertaking the project were bound, but had failed to observe the requirements of the Environmental Quality Act 1974, in particular Section 34A thereof. The respondents in this case, in this circumstance, applied to the High Court to declare invalid environmental quality and so on and so forth. So in short, the people now is bringing a case against those who are staying in that area, now bringing a case against the state, protesting on the developments of the dam, which according to them will jeopardize and also will disturb and will harm their livelihood and also their lifestyles. Next, please. Okay. The courts in this case, the High Courts, Sabah and Sarawak, in this case, decided that the respondents, in this case, the people have lacked a substantive local standard, and the relief sought should have been denied. Why? Because number one, the respondents were attempting to enforce a penal sanction, the discretion to enforce which lies entirely with the Attorney General. So that's why I was saying it's civil litigations and criminal litigations. Problem is that it was the case was brought forth by members of the villages in that. So the court was saying that they don't have the local stand-by. Okay. And number two is the action was not a representative action, and there was no special injury suffered by the respondents over and above the injury suffered by the other affected natives. And also number three, although the respondents had been deprived of their life under Section 5.1 of the Federal Constitution, such deprivation was in accordance with law, and the respondents therefore have not suffered any injury as to necessitate a remedy. This is what the court was of the opinion, the decisions of the court at the time. So yes, your life has been deprived as stated under Section 5.1 of the Federal Constitution, but that deprivation, according to the court, was in accordance with the law. So the people lost a case in this case, and the dam is now completed. One case, but this is an old case, 1997. Move to the second one, to the next slide, please, Hari. And that's another case, 2021, more recent. And this is about pollutions, water pollutions, or ponds pollutions for that matter. The prosecution has convincingly proved to the court beyond reasonable doubt that the appellant was involved in the act. And the appellant was charged under Section 31 of the act, which we have mentioned earlier, and was convicted thereof. So the appellant was said to have been acting in violations of the laws and hence causing pollutions to the environment. Next slide, please. Okay. What Section 31 is all about? This is about power to require a occupier to install, operate, repair, etc. So we go to the second point here. Notwithstanding any other provisions to the contrary, the Director General may by notice direct the occupier of any premises here to emit, discharge, or deposit pollutants during such periods of day as he may specify, and may generally direct the manner in which such occupier shall carry out his duty. It has got to be done in accordance with the regulations and the law, so as to avoid any pollutions and also contaminations, which at the end of the day will harm the society or members or people who live around the area. This is the point where the accused person in this case failed to do. And so that matter, he was convicted. This is an example of provisions which protects the people from being harmed by the whatever that comes from a factory, perhaps, for that matter. We move on to the next slide. When it comes to matters like this, what would be the ultimate aim? Number one, of the law. So law here means the lawmakers, the lawmakers, members of the parliament. And what would also be the philosophy behind the approaches to be taken by the judges in courts. So here, of course, in a modern world like that of ours, Malaysia, Indonesia, wherever you are, public interest has become one of the most important issues to be taken by the courts and by the lawmakers. So before the law is to be introduced, we want to know what would be the best for the members of the public. So this is issue of public interest in environmental cases. So public interest can be explained as the expectation, the desire, and demand of the members of the public. Expectation, desire, demand. And there are cases where developments were in conflict with the interests of the members of the community. So what would be the approaches or the attitudes of the courts, and also for that matter, the lawmakers, of course, in developing a laws related to issues of environment and protecting the members of the public. So this is the main, this has always become the main objective of those involved, the legal aspect, especially on issues of environment. Move on to the second, to the next, Harry, thank you. Okay, so now I bring in our discussion one of the very important case. They call it a landmark case, otherwise known as Taman Rimba Kiara. This was brought up to the federal courts of Malaysia, the highest court. So it was reported on the 27th January 2021 that 3-judge panel of the Court of Appeal, led by Yang Arif Datuk Mary Lim, unanimously decided that an order for a proposed development obtained in 2017 by the joint venture between this yayasan, this that institution, and private developer, Memang Perkasa is the name of the developer company, for that Taman Rimba project is null and void. This is very interesting, but this is at the Court of Appeal. So as a result, the court found in favor of the appellants. Appellants are the members of the community, those who are staying in that area, who protested in the developments of a new buildings, for example, residential areas, which according to them is harmful to their lifestyle. Comprising the management cooperation of several condominiums in the TRK vicinity, as well as property owners, and has halted the proposed development that would cause irreversible destruction to the ecosystem. That is the main point here, perhaps, as claimed by the people living in that area. Will cause irreversible destruction to the ecosystem and the biodiversity of the flora and fauna in that area. This is the Court of Appeal, and the matter was brought to the federal courts. Next slide, please. Sorry. So this is the case. If we are a common law country, our courts are reported, especially when landmark cases like this. It is recorded and it is in the record, so you can refer. So this is the citation 2023 MLRA at page 114. So in this case, in the federal courts, the judge Datuk Nalini Padmanathan, when reading the unanimous judgment, also unanimous means all of the judges agreed, said it was incumbent upon the court to protect the public interest. This is very interesting. Why? Because here the judge has made it very clear that this is for the most important objective of the courts in relation to cases of this nature is to protect the public interest. Okay, when land allocated for public space is removed from public use and for that matter utilized for private ownership, that cannot be done. Why? Because priority has got to be given to the members of the public to enjoy the space. Maybe it's a park, maybe it's a place where people will sit down and have leisure time together with families and friends. So that cannot be taken. We have found that the Federal Territory Act and the KL Structure Plan 2020 have been contravened by the issuance of Impang Development Order, and the public has a general expectation that the decisions of the local authority will comply with the KL Structure Plan. However, in this case, there was a deviation from the state plan, much to the frustrations of the people living in that area at the time when the mayor of Kuala Lumpur has granted permission to the company for the purpose of developments of the area. But luckily now the court says that cannot be done. So we are cognizant of the fact that Federal Territory Acts give the public the right to participate in the planning process, and this is a statutory right to be heard. This is a big decision, actually. We move to the next slide, please. Okay. Among other things, this is the judgment. It is incumbent upon the court to protect the public interest when land allocated for open space by the Datuk Banda, the mayor, and approved by the Minister of Federal Territories is removed from public use and utilized for private ownership. So this is a case where not only that the issue is one of public interest, it also involves questions of the discretionary powers of the administrators, and for that matter, the mayor of Kuala Lumpur, and also it involved the Minister of Federal Territories. They have given permission, but now the court says that permission cannot be given. This is not your discretion, because the purpose of this law is for the members of the public. So we have to listen to them. If you want to plan something in that area, you must also take into consideration the opinions of the members of that area. So this is a very clear case where the interests of the public be protected, and for that matter, at the same time, it involves issues of, like mentioned just now, environment, cleanliness, life science, and so on. Move on to, so this is in 2023 from this award. 2021, what was the date? Never mind, we can check after this. Move on to the next
I
slide.
do apologize, Professor Iqbal, but we will have 5 minutes left.
Okay,
Professor.
I'm finishing. There's another
Okay.
case here. Again, it's the same thing where affluence was directed into the Malacca River. This happened in Malacca. This is 2001 case, long before that case. And the company or the person involved in this also was charged under the law, and they were convicted. So that cannot be done. The river was contaminated by the effluents that comes from that company. Okay, you know, sometimes you develop something, but whatever waste that you have from the company, just throw it into the river, dump it into a river. So here there's a clear law on that matter. Next. Again here, issue of public interest was mentioned in the case. I'm clear that the element of public interest was foremost in his mind as assessing sentence. This is about the case, but this is way before the 2020, which was decided in the federal court. Next. Hari, please. We are finishing. And that's another case here. Not installing and operating any control equipment or additional control equipment to reduce water pollution is an offense. So if you want, make sure that you also have equipments to control, and also for that matter to purify whatever waste that comes from your factory or whatever, so as not to injure, harm the members of the public. There's another one, the last one. This is 2007. Please. Okay, never mind, facts of the case. Another one, please. Okay, and another one because of the time. This is in 2019, but it was recently reported, and then this case was brought up to the federal court, if not mistaken. No. This is a High Court or maybe Court of Appeal, High Court case, where this is about Sungai Kim Kim, is a river Kim Kim, water pollution incident that occurred on 7 March 2019, caused by illegal chemical waste dumping at the river in Pasir Gudang. Is one of the area in Johor in the southern state of Malaysia. The illegal dumping released toxic fumes affecting the health of over 2,000 members of the public and led to the closure of 111 schools in that area, where 947 people were treated. And of course, some of them suffered very serious injury and also illness as a result of that. So what happened is that, of course, PTech Resources, one of the accused persons or company here, faced 8 charges and was convicted on all. So all in all, they have to pay some 320,000 ringgit fine. And the lorry driver, the person who's responsible in dumping the toxic into the river, was charged and convicted, and he was punished with 100,000 Malaysian ringgit punishment. Okay, insofar as the law and the legal proceedings is concerned, is clear. Last, Harry, please. But what is actually the problem now is, how about the victims? So here, the mother of the victim recently complained that his son, by the name Irfan Wafi, currently suffering from myokemia, a condition that causes several limbs to tremble and relies on a walking stick. You just imagine a boy of 16 years of age, playing football all over the place, suddenly become disabled, unable to stand not more than 5 minutes, according to the mother. So what was the complaint? Not only him, there are so many other complaints from the members of the public, sufferings of the members of the people. So whether they could be compensated, this is the next issue. And so far as the law is concerned, punishing the accused or the perpetrators is concerned, okay, it's clear. But now the issue is, what about the victims? So this is, so last, the conclusions. Okay, so whatever that we have discussed, of course, the time, 45 minutes. Thank you so much. So here there are 5 related issues, which I put them together in my conclusions. Number one, when we talk about issues of this nature, we, at the same time, the laws related to the problems environment. For that matter, you see in Malaysia, we have so many laws. I believe Indonesia also have so many laws in relation to that. Second, issue of interpretation of the laws. So now you see that based on some of the important decisions by the court, that is to protect the interests of the members of the public. Number 3, the competency, the discipline, and professionalism of the administrators and those involved in the issue, like in the case I mentioned just now, Taman Rima, where the federal courts make it very clear that the administrators was wrong in giving permission to the company to develop that area. So this is about competency, discipline, and professionalism. And number 4 is awareness and understanding from the members of society, which is also very important, education. And lastly, you cannot run away from the issues of morality and legal elements. You can have hundreds of laws, thousands of laws. But if the people is without conscience, if the conscience of the people is not at that level, still, you will never be able to find solutions on this issue. I share you my experience with the former president of the Constitutional Court of Indonesia quite some times ago, Hari. Now he's a politician. I do not want to mention his name. Now he's a politician. He was saying that, well, he was involved in passing and also investigating, researching every laws which is to be passed in Indonesia after the Orde Baru. So he involved every law to a point where, according to him, he started to think how many laws that he has involved. Okay, for that matter, does the laws that the Indonesian Parliament, DPR, has passed makes the people moral? For that matter, in Malaysia also we can see the same thing. Also, whatever laws that we have, 35, the formulas in relation to environment, whether the laws make the people moral, they understand and they behave and they create a very... So he was also of the opinion that actually still the same situation. People still violate the laws. There are people who completely ignore. So they said the now issue is not so much on legal aspects, issue of moral. Moral education has got to be educated. As a moral issues has got to be promoted also at the same time to make people realize on the importance of their responsibility towards their neighbors, towards the society, and for that matter, for the country. That is on the part of the people. Thank you very much. I stop there. Very sorry that I've taken a little bit more time. I'm very happy to be given this opportunity. I have to apologize to the organizers that I will have to leave the meeting. I'm having 2-3 more lectures after this because it's Wednesday, it's a teaching day here. So again, I apologize for any shortcomings. Thank you very much for everything. And I wish you all the best in the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
Thank you very much. Waalaikumsalam. Thank you very much, Professor Iqbal, for the very deep and also insightful discussion. Professor Iqbal, it is also so sad to us because we only have 45 minutes to explain about the interesting topic here. But actually, Professor Iqbal, we have 3 questions here. As you
Okay,
mentioned,
okay.
you will have a lecture after this show. So I will read the question, Dr.
Okay.
Iqbal, from the chat box. The question first comes from Nurul, Ibu Nurul from ITESA Muhammadiyah Semarang. The question is, as you convene in the presented material, it is stated that creating the sustainable environment requires regulation from the government. So,
Yeah.
what is our role as researcher in the field of sustainable environment if our research finding cannot reach the government? Does this mean that our research result cannot have significant impact on the environment? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
So
very much.
another
Let me address this
okay, one
question
by one,
first.
Professor.
It is the
We have
responsibility. It is the responsibility of the administrators. That's why in my conclusion, I was saying just now, the discipline, professionalism, yeah, and also the quality of our administrators must be upgraded. Because if the researchers have done research and recommended and advised to say, for example, the relevant authority, they must listen. They must listen. So in a situation where the research, it has got to be a good research, facts and figures, a very deep research on that area. If that has been concluded and was brought forth before the office of the relevant authorities, so they must spend time to listen, to at least discuss on the research. If they don't do that, it means that they don't do their responsibility have not been done. So this is what I think. So, but then there's another issue of how do we approach and so on. That is issues of technicalities. But otherwise, our perjumpaan kita yang sebegini itu tidak ada artinya. We gather all experts all around the world, and each and every one of us give our opinions. So at the end of the day, nobody cares about it. It's only for the purpose of meeting Hari in the meeting like this. So at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything because you spend a lot of money, you spend a lot of energy and also resources. But at the end of it, it's just for fun. So it's not like that, isn't it? We are now proposing something. So the administrators, for that matter, it is their responsibility. That's what I'm saying is professionalism is very important. So whether later they will take our advice or not, that is different matters. The most important thing, listen, sit down, discuss. That's what I think. Sorry, I do not know whether I've answered the question, but this is just my opinion. Of course, after this, Hari, if there are more questions, they can directly contact me personally. You know my email numbers and so on. Okay, next question, number 2.
Okay, next question number 2, it is from Rafael Dimala, Professor Rafael from Olfu, from Philippines, Professor Iqbal. Before joining academy, I worked with Asian Development Bank and was involved in project review relating to the environment. How do you think can existing environmental law adapt and evolve the effectively regulate and mitigate the environmental impact of rapidly advancing digital technology?
Wow, this question, perhaps, I'm very sorry because I'm in a rush. Professor from our dear professor from Philippines, perhaps we can talk after this. You can get my email number and I will address the issues because it's not a very straightforward answer here. Thank you very much. The second one and the third one.
The third one, in my opinion, the clean government could clean the environment. So how to achieve this? From Bapak Iwan Ridwan from University Singapura Bangsa Karawang.
Again, please, can you repeat?
In my opinion, clean government could clean the environment. So how to achieve this? Maybe
the government responsibility.
The clean
I think
the good government, I think, Prof.
The government must have this in their agenda. So for that matter, I'm actually praising when I'm highlighting, like I mentioned just now, in the 12th plan Malaysian 12th land in Malaysia. And we include this. We include this. So this is an agenda, very big agenda within the government. So this is the focus. So in achieving a developed and at the same time modern society, we put into emphasis on the importance of issues related to environment, something like that, perhaps. So yeah, I think I agree with you. It has got to come also from, of course, the top, the people in charge, relevant authorities. They should play their role in ensuring that what project they are making must at the same time take into consideration issues of environment so that the people will at the end of the day not suffer. Sometimes they develop the area, it is only for the high class members of the society who enjoy, but the native people, the people who live within that area, at the end of the day, it's not going to change their lifestyle. It's just the same, even worse than that. This is what I think. Yeah, very sorry. This is my opinion. Thank you so much, our dear professors from the Philippines. I'm very sorry. It's rushing students how we think because there are so many holidays now in Malaysia. So I keep on, if I keep on canceling classes, I'll be having trouble in the end of the semester. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be with you. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you
Nice
very
meeting all
much.
of you.
Waalaikumsalam
Terima kasih banyak. Terima kasih semua. Terima kasih Borobudur. Terima kasih Magelang. Terima
Terima
kasih
kasih kembali,
Indonesia as a whole.
Professor Iqbal. Thank
Assalamualaikum.
you so much for
Assalamualaikum.
joining us and thank you for your availability to join our 5th Borobudur International Symposium, Professor
It's an
Iqbal.
honor.
See you again in another moment and activity. Thank you,
Inshallah. Thank you very
Professor.
much.
You may leave the conference. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you very
See you.
much. I leave
Bye.
the conference. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum. All the best.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, before we have very deep and also very insightful discussion with Professor Iqbal, but we do so sorry because we have very limited time to discuss a lot with Professor Iqbal, and he also still have another activity and business after this to have a lecture in IIUM. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we are moving to the second keynote speaker. Will be delivered by Professor Tang Shu Mei. Professor Tang, are you here with us, Professor?
Yes, yes. Harry, can you hear
Okay,
my
good
voice?
morning, Professor.
Good morning.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
very
need
clear,
very clear.
very
So
clear.
now I only
Yeah.
have to share my PowerPoint, isn't it?
Before that, Professor, let me introduce first
Okay,
for
okay.
your biography. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now for the second speaker, we will have Professor Dr. Shu Mei Tang. He is, for her educational background, he is graduated from the University of Sheffield, UK for PhD. And Professor Shu Mei Tang has acted several years as a chairman for financial and economic law at Asia University. Professor Tang has broad research interest in the human dignity, informed consent, human subject research, fake news, intellectual property, and so on and so forth. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further delay, now we welcome Professor Tang to the stage. Professor Tang, you have 54 minutes. I'm with
54.
Professor
Okay.
Iqbal.
Okay. So now I share my slide.
Okay, Professor, please.
Okay, so can I share my slides now?
Sure, Prof.
But it's forbidden. Say to share. Okay.
Anyone
Or
would like
you
to
can
help? Yeah.
or you can help me, or I can share. I don't I'm sorry, this is
Okay,
the
Prof.
first time I use Zoom and the
Pak.
virtual. If not, maybe you can help me to manage the slide.
Okay, for the operator, anyone can help us to share the screen for Professor Tang? Or you can
No,
open
because it say the moderators forbid me to share the slide. So I think maybe you share the slide, help me
Yeah.
to do.
Okay, Professor.
Actually, the slide will be the same. So if it's okay.
Wait, Prof, we are still trying to share the PowerPoint.
Okay, Harry. So maybe I think because the time is not enough,
Yeah.
so maybe I think you manage the slide rather than by myself. Is it okay?
Okay, Prof. We will share your screen. Maybe you can first start for the presentation, Prof.
Okay. So good
Okay.
morning. Okay.
Morning,
Hello.
Prof. Okay, here is the slide.
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So firstly, I would like to say thank you, Harris, invitation to invite me to this event. And Henry's my student before, and he now is the moderator. And let me have the opportunities to have this kind of speech: sustainability and technology. Innovation, the need for the regulation of LC and the nanotechnology. So I'm from the ethical, legal, and the social implications to talk about the sustainability and the innovations, not from the low points. So I'm so happy this is the first time I participate the Borobudur International Symposium. And just like I said, this is the first time I use the room and to participate the virtual international conference. So I'm so worried how to use this kind of technique. If something wrong, that will be my fault, my internet's fault, or anything else. That's actually several years ago. Henry and his wife Diana came to Taiwan to be our to Asia University and to study their master degree. They were so brilliant and work very hard, and they have a beautiful baby boy in Taiwan as well. So now both of them are faculties in the university in Indonesia. And our moderator, Henry, now is working in University Muhammadiyah Malang, and Diana is working at University Muhammadiyah Surakarta. Okay, so next, please. Next slide, please. Can you hear my voice? Next. Thank you. So actually, Henry just now he introduced my my CV. That's my simple introduction. So I'm now the professor at the Financial and Economic Law at Asia University. And before, for my education, I achieved my law degree from the University of Sheffield in the UK. And after my graduation, I moved back to Taiwan and has acted several years to be the chairman for my department. That's at that time, Henry and Diana came to my department, and I have the chance to be visiting scholar. That's for my sabbatical leave. I went to the University of Oxford, the University of Edinburgh, and Durham University. And I got a brilliant experience when I stayed there to be the visiting scholars. Next, please. So refer to the Borobudur International Symposium with the theme "It's smart and sustainable." It is designed to probe into the strong synergy between the green technology and the digital society. So that is quite relevant to my topic today. That's sustainability and technology innovation. It is from the promising innovation that we apply nanotechnology to our to discuss the requirement and from the ethical, legal, and social implications. So shall we have a look quick at SDG goals, just like the first keynote speakers? He said that the SDG goals refers to the Sustainable Development Goals, and they are a set of 17 global goals established by the United Nations in 2015. And SDG goals are designed to address a wide range of global challenge and promote to establish the sustainable environment. And our using to apply nanotechnology might quite relevant to the several goals, like the goals to zero hunger and hunger. If we can have a good to promote sustainable agriculture, and for the goals 3 can have a good health and well-being. Ensure if we apply nanotechnology to diagnose or therapy or anything else that can ensure our healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. And clean water and sanitation. And if something risk happens, that our water will get some pollutions. So we need to ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all, and industrial innovation and infrastructure, that's to build resilient infrastructures. And the goals 14, is life below water. That's we need to conserve and sustainability use the ocean, seas, and the marine resources for sustainable development. So shall we to the previous slide? Yes, thank you. So actually, these goals are interconnected, reflected the complexity of global challenges. Achieve the goals that's required, that's we can from the economic SDGs and social SDG, environmental SDG. That's 3 categories interconnected. Just as I said, nanotechnology that interact with these goals and reflecting the complexity of global challenges. So achieving the goals requires the collaboration and the commitment from several categories, such as our government, business, civil society, and individuals worldwide. But now progress toward these goals should be strictly to be monitored. Efforts are required to ensure that from the accountability and transparency in the pursuit of sustainable development. Next, please. Henry, next, please. So we can see that these pictures, when we, I'm sorry, that's the picture. The previous slide, please. Yes, that's deeper water horizon exploded. When we heard the word disaster, the first hit to our mind that might be like hurricane, earthquake, or wildfires. They are all natural, the mother nature. They are unavoidable and out of human control. But actually, throughout our history, actually, we needed not to blame Mother Nature, rather than that's the humans' problems. Humans have caused the most devastating environmental disasters and out of our controls. So the deep water horizon exploded. That was the biggest oil spill accident in history. occurred in the United States Gulf of Mexico. On 20 April 2010, the drilling rig Deepwater Horizon exploded after a surge of natural gas blasted through its concrete core, that's spilling 795 million liters of crude oil into the ocean, to the Gulf of Mexico. That's off the coast of Louisiana. So that is the biggest accident that get the very serious pollution to our oceans. So next, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so that now we move back to the nanotechnology. Are all these accidents caused by human errors could be avoidable if we can have like proper regulation and to monitor this innovation technology strictly. So for every reasonable assessment established by the comprehensive knowledge. So before we talking about the assessment of nanotechnology, we need to know the knowledge to get the reasonable assessment. We need to be sure that what we know and what it is about to do. Otherwise, we might end up, it's just nothing we can do. It's just a waste of time. So when we're talking about nanotechnology, Neil Lane, 1998, he said the technology for the 21st century, if I were asked for an area of science and engineering that will most likely produce the breakthrough of tomorrow, the breakthroughs of tomorrow, I would point to nanoscales. I'm sorry, my apples, not my mobile's problems. So I say it again, the technology for the 21st century, that if I were asked for an area of science and engineering that will most likely produce the breakthrough of tomorrow, I will point that's nanoscale science and engineering. The next, please. Next slide, please. So what's the nanotechnology? From the Wikipedia view, nanotechnology, sometimes that's we call it nanotech. That's the study of manipulating matter and atomic and molecular scale. That's mean very, very small. That's in molecular scale. That's so generally nanotechnology deal with structures sized between 1 to 100 nanometers. So it's at least one dimension is 1 to 100 nanometers. That involves developing materials or devices possessing at least one dimension in that kind of size. Next, please. So next, okay, so nanoscale, that means very small. That's some terms of nanoscale, nanostructure, nano manufacture, nano size, and nanotechnology. That's the technique for making and characterizing nanostructures and putting them to use. Okay, next, please.
Sudah saya lihat Ibu, memang ada yang kurang. Ini baru saya tanyakan ke teman-teman. Apa ya 200.000 ini kemana gitu? Buatan ke buru-buru kan Ibu?
Kindly, please.
So
Microphone. I do so sorry, Professor.
Okay, no problem. So that's a famous lecture in 1959. That's they say there's plenty of room at the bottom. That's Richard Feynman. He pointed out that there is plenty of room at the bottom. Refer to the big potential that it's hidden in the smallest dimension of matter. That's if we apply nanotechnology. So Feynman imagined the entire encyclopedia that could be written on the head of a needle. That's the very small that can that all the encyclopedia knowledge can be written on the head of a needle. So in the year 2000, so we look back at the age that will we will wondered why it was not until the year 1960 that anybody serious to move in the directions. So that is the plenty of room, and at that time we expect nanotechnology can be very helpful for us. Next, please. So next slide, please. So now we quickly to have a look what is nano. What's the dimension? From the left side, we can see a penny. A penny is about 2 centimeters. We can see it. And for a raindrop, that's 1 millimeter. And for hair, we can observe our hair is about 100 micrometer. And for our red blood cell, we cannot use our eyes to directly observe our red blood cell. We use the microscope to observe our cells. That's about the size. The dimension is about 5 micrometer. And next, please. So now we enter to the nano zone. Nano zone, so that's from the general microscope that cannot observe this kind of material or cells. The left side is fluenza virus. Fluenza virus is about 100 nanometers. And for the bacteria phage is about 60 to 70 nanometers. And for the gold particles, it's 30 nanometer to 50 nanometers. For our deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, the diameter of our DNA is about 2 nanometers. That's really too small for us to imagine or to observe. That's needed to observe by the electric microscopes. So now we move to the next, please. So Henry, shall we? So now actually nanotechnology is not a new phenomenon. Thousands of years ago, people know how to use nanotechnology to make a spatial cup. This cup is a 4th century Roman glass that's called a Lycurgus cup. That was made by the specific cup that's from the show a different color. Why the Lycurgus cup can show the different color? Because the Lycurgus cup that shows liquid, it looks green when a white light is reflected on it, and it shows red coloring appeared when a white light is transmitted through it. So the light reflected it on it, that will show green color, transmitted through it, that will show red colors. By why the ancient people know how to make this kind of specific cup, because they know to use the silver and the gold nanoparticles. Just I mentioned the nanoparticles is very small. For the gold particles, it's only 5 to 15 nano. I think that's the nano size present in the glass. So that is the that's they know how to use the to apply nanotechnology. Next, please. So for now, for our modern people, that's just I said for the ancient people, they already know how to make the spatial cups. but they don't know that particle is so small that now how we apply the applications of nanoscience, the interesting phenomenon that's from our ancient ancestors, they know, but they don't know that's the basic concept. So now we use to apply nano science to our lives. How might nanoscale science and engineering improve our modern lives? Next, please. The first I show here that scientists developed nanobubble water in Japan. The National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology. That's company, that's institute. They developed the first nanobubble water. That's called nanobubble water. This kind of technology allowed both freshwater fish and saltwater fish. These two kinds of fish, actually, they cannot live together, but they use nanobubble water to let them live in the same water. Next, please. So apply the application of nanoscience, we can have the 4 categories: materials, healthcare, technology, environment. That's like for the materials, that's stain-resistant clothes. And for the healthcare, we apply quite a lot to our healthcare. The layer of gold are used in the tiny medical device. And the carbon nanotubes can be used as the hydrogen, and the possibility to entry point for, let me have a look. That's to help to detect our bodies. So that's from 4 different categories, from the materials, healthcare, technology, environment, to clean energy. For clean energy, clean air, or for better data storage and computations. Next, please. So for the materials, nanofibers create cushion of air around the fabric. So that's 10 nanometer carbon whiskers bound with cartons. So we can, from the left side, the picture say nano pants that can refuse to stand. That's liquid will build up and rolling off. So because that's nanocarbon whiskers bound with cotton. And the right side, nanocare fabrics with water, cranberry juice or vegetable oils after 30 minutes, and that can wipe off with a wet paper towels. So that's very easy. So let's use nanotech for our material for stain-resistant clothes. Next, please. Next slide, please. And the same, that's a material can help to paint that doesn't chip, to protective nano paints for our cars. So this car is Mercedes, covered with tougher shiner nano paints. So use nano paints to paint for our cars as a material that's water and dirt can repellent. So let me have a look. So resistant to chipping and scratches, brighten our colors and enhance the glows. So in the future, maybe like the ancient the cup, in the future could change color and self-repair. We might think about that. Next, please. Next slide, please. So it's the same paint that cleans the air. So nano paint on buildings could reduce the pollutions. when exposed to UV light, titanium dioxide nanoparticles implant that can break down organic and inorganic pollutant that can wash off in the rain. So we don't need that human beings to clean the buildings. That the rain can help if we have used the nano pens on the buildings outside that decompose the air pollution particles like formaldehydes. Next, please. So for healthcare, I think here, because I think the time may be not enough. So I just quickly to say, for healthcare, that's nerve tissue talking to computers. Nerve, neuroelectronic network that can interface nerve cells with semiconductors. Okay, next, please. That's apply to healthcare as well. That's to detecting disease earlier. That if we use the quantum dot growth in the UV light, if we use the nano device to inject in mice that collecting, if the mice got the tumors that can collect in tumors to show earlier for the detecting disease earlier, could locate as few as if we only have 10 to 100 cancer cells. Okay, next please. And the healthcare growing tissue to repair our hearts, that nanofibers that can help heart muscle grow in the lab, that filament instruct that can teach our muscle to grow in orderly way, because before that fibers grow in random directions, but now we can train to instruct our muscle to grow in an orderly way that to repair our hearts. Next, please, the heart tissues. Okay. Next, please. That's healthcare preventing virus from infecting us. That's nano coating over proteins on virus. That's the coating can help us to from the foreign virus or coronavirus or anything else that could stop viruses from binding to the cell if we have the coating outside. So nano coatings over protein on viruses that we maybe never get another cold or flus. Next, please. That's the final healthcare, making repairs to the body. So nanorobots are imaginary, but nano-sized delivery system could maybe help to repair our body directly to remove the tumor cells or clean the plaques from blood vessels or anything else, to break apart kidney stones or anything else. That maybe is our just imaginations. Next, please. But okay, now, that we need poster to consider how delicate a nanoscale size object. How well we understand the environmental and the health impact of nano-sized cluster of particles, because they have always have the potential risk of nanotechnology. How can we use this knowledge properly? Because just now we say what a charming application of nanotechnology. However, we need to to think about it again, to reconsider it again, whether there are some defects to apply this innovation technology, whether the applications will cause the huge damage to our lives. Just like it's not like a hurricane or earthquake or anything. It's just like, I say that the biggest disaster human being caused it. will that happen again? So how well do we understand nanotechnology applications will damage our environmental or health impact? We need to reconsider about it. Next, please. Okay, just now I said because nano devices are sensitive, radiation particles can cause the fatal defects. Development require very clean environment, and they got the redundant copies compensate for high defect rate. So they still have some defects. Next, please. Maybe my time is not enough. Okay, so we apply to nano food, but like nano additive, nano food package, nano carriers or other things. But the risk we need to get the proper assessment because they will get like DNA damage, protein denaturations, or oxidative stress. So the issue happens. That's consumers' safety issues. Now, maybe we lack of the consumer's health risk assessment, lack of the metabolic kinetics of nanomaterials, lack of uniform evaluation method for nanomaterials. So how can we improve? We need more like regulations or from the later I will say from the precautionary view or from the ethical views. Next, please.
I apologize, Professor Tang. We have 5 minutes left.
Oh,
for
only 5
presentation.
minutes. Okay. So, okay, 5 minutes. Okay, so for the potential risk of nanotechnology, just refers to health issues, environmental issues, and the new risk. Because that's before we never use that's manipulated by human beings to make so small particles that will cost new risk assessments method needed. So national and international agencies are beginning to study the risk. Results will lead to new regulations. Next, please. So next, please. So because uncertainties inherent, okay, so according to Von Glad, that's have some uncertainties that's as yet unknown or the unknowable. So the risk of nanoparticles to human health and the environment are still there. So we need to be very, very careful. The risk of nanoparticles. Okay, next, please. Next slide, please. So just like I say, for the innovation technology, we need to have a good, proper regulation of nanotechnologies, especially to the toxic material or to our environment or to our health. That's managing risk, human and environmental issues. And we need democratic governance. That's because the new regulation framework is needed, and we need international law as well. Next, please. Because the time is maybe not enough, so I think I needed to be quicker. So managing risk, that's human and environmental health and safety. So we need regulatory bodies like US and EU that already have concluded that nanoparticles from the potential and for entirely new risk. So they necessary to carry out an extensive analysis of the risk. Okay, now maybe we just move to the next slide, please. That we need not only the regulations, we need to have the democratic governance to monitor this kind of new technology. So that's community educations, engagement, and consultations that's needed because the downstream policy and the upstream policy, that's both are needed. That's upstream engagement, by contrast, occurs much earlier. If we know something might happen, we need to use precautionary. If we use upstream, that's much earlier in the innovation cycle and involves dialogue and debate that's necessary about our future technology. Option and pathways bring the often expert-led approach to horizon. I'm sorry, because the horizon scanning, technology foresight, and the scenario plan to involve a wide range of perspective and inputs. Next, please. Is my time enough or only?
Yeah, I think
Next.
time is up, Professor Tang.
The
So
time is
how?
up. So maybe
Yeah.
maybe we just go to the last slide. Okay, the last one,
Okay.
so we can have a conclusions, please. So just to the last slides. So the last slide.
Conclusion, please.
Conclusions.
The operator.
Apply the precautionary principle, and for the future should have a. We need to be responsible for our society, for our environment, for any development of the new technologies. So we need to have a managing the new risk, especially to our health and environment, to protect our all the peoples. They use this kind of technology could be safe. The democratic governance, we need to have a communications, the dialogues. We need to have a more debate. And I apply here to precautionary principle, something maybe we don't know. We just think it's so promising, but we need to be careful to caution about this. That's we could apply a precautionary principle. And the last one is LC. We need it from the ethical, legal, and the social implications. It's not the science is not only for scientists, it's for all the peoples. When we apply this new technology, that could be used by all the people, that could damage our environment. So we need from the different views, from the aspects, to see, to assess this kind of risks. Okay, so the time is not, the time is up. So now the
Yeah,
next slide is
Professor.
thank you for your listening. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Tang, for the very interesting topic and discussion. I'm so sorry to stop your presentation, but this is actually not my intention, Professor. But because of the time, so we have to end the presentation.
That's my fault.
Okay.
That's my fault.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so now, Professor, we have several questions on the meeting chat or the chat box here. So let me help you,
So-
Professor, by reading
So
the
I need
question.
to answer the
Yeah.
question, respond to the questions now or later?
Yeah, maybe
Now.
several questions we will respond for now, but the
Now,
rest,
okay,
another
let me-
question maybe later. Okay,
let me
first
have a look.
question. Okay, we have from Professor Rafael again from Our Lady of Fatima University, Philippines. So, common to social and economic SDGs.
Wait a moment. You say from which one? That's the timing. Can you show the time so I can see?
From Professor Rafael Dimala, Professor. Okay.
Which one? Rimana. It's 11:44.
Yeah.
44.
Another question from.
Another question.
Yeah.
Another question from Our Lady.
From Professor Rafael Dimala from Our Lady Fatima University, Professor Tang from Philippines.
Okay, from
So the
Philippines.
question, okay, common to social and economic SDGs, in the absence of poverty, how can nanotechnology contribute to poverty alleviation? And what measures can be taken to ensure its ethical development and inclusive access? Say, for example, is inclusive access, and how do we prioritize the poor, Professor Tang? This is for the first question.
For the poor. Okay, that's how can thank you for these questions. That's how can we apply nanotechnology for our SDG goals, the because the absence of poverty. Because if we can apply the nanotechnology, because it's quite small one, for example, like vitamin or anything else, if one just take one, maybe not enough, we need two. So sometimes we need to consume a lot of food. If we apply nanotechnology, this kind of technique to our food, maybe we don't need so much food for all the people, maybe just 1/3 or 1/4. And for the poor countries, they don't need to grow so much, to have so many food for them, and they only need a little bit. That's enough for them. I think that's for the scientists, they always have something promising things that maybe will help. We don't need every day three meals. Maybe only one meal is enough, and that's the food. Maybe have no problems. I'm not sure is that is okay, and how to ensure the ethical development and inclusive access. That's because ethical, some people say, oh, ethical always the same. They say always that's nothing new, like the 1,000 years ago they always call the ethics or like moralities. But how we from the point of view, we need to be responsible to our society. When we are scientists, we cannot always to see the promising things because it's something we don't understand clearly. So the human beings will maybe make something error that we need from the ethical. That if we got something wrong from the ethical viewpoint, from the scholar researchers, from that point to think about what will make problems to our human beings, to our environments. Okay. So
Okay,
I'm wondering.
Thank you so much for the first question. The key point is the responsibility for the human being, isn't it, Professor Tang? So the second question, Professor Tang, because we have a lot of questions here, so I will choose to Miss Fitriana. Oh, Dr. Fitriana here is there the standard regarding nanotechnology, nanoparticle, for pharmaceutical?
Is there a standard regarding nanoparticles for pharmaceutical preparation technology? Oh, yes, we do have something standards. Every year they have they will like from the seminars or from the scholars discussions or from from technology's views, and they collect all the questions and they will make the standards for the new materials. So now we do have the standards for pharmaceuticals preparation technology. That's if they apply this technology to for our new medicine or anything else, or just coating or anything, they need to be very careful. Maybe the coating that's toxic or anything else. When we digest this kind of food or anything, maybe that will be toxic to our body or anything else. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Professor Tang, can we have one last question?
Last question.
One last question. Okay, I prefer to choose from Cici Sundari, Professor Tang. Here, Cici Sundari.
Cici Sundari.
Yeah, hello, I'm
Cici
Cici Sundari from Muhammadiyah University, Yogyakarta. Yeah, Yogyakarta. I want to ask about the good and bad impact of nanotechnology on everyday human life, Professor Tang.
Okay. Just like I mentioned, that's the good is from the promising thing view. We say the good that's can help, like the spatial cups. You see, that's 1,000 years ago, and that's now is still there, and that still is a wonder. So nanotechnology technology, from the good impact to our human lives, we can just now we say we can apply it from to in the 4 categories: material, technology, to have a green, that's the green environment, or maybe not damage to our environment. Maybe that can improve our environment as well, and improve the problems of the pollutions, and to have earlier diagnosis, and can do something like a therapy or anything else. But the bad impacts, just like I said before, earlier, that that's where we need to rethink about that. Not always is good. We need to from other ways to think about that. So I need to like governmental governance, the good governance, earlier precautionary policy, and from the because that we need to be very, very responsible, always be responsible to all the peoples, not only for ourselves. This kind of new technology that be used to all the peoples. So if something wrong, that will cause big damages. So that's the big challenge. Okay, so that's my answer.
Thank you very much, Professor Tang, for the very brief explanation and discussion for today's conference. And ladies and gentlemen, I do so sorry again. This is not my intention to end this session with Professor Tang. Also, Professor Tang,
Thank you, Harry.
I do
No,
apologize for the limitation of time
no,
here
thank
for
you,
our
thank you.
discussion. So,
Okay.
Professor Tang, after this, we will discuss about the certificate and another matters regarding on the conference. So I will send you the text or the message through the Facebook, the messenger. Okay. So thank you very much, Professor Tang, for your availability and your attending for our conference here.
Okay.
And Professor
Thank
Tang,
you.
see you again in near
See
future
you
in another
again.
activity with Unima.
Thanks,
Maybe you have
thanks
closing.
a lot for Henry's invitation. Thank you, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give a round of applause to Professor Tang for today's meeting and his brief explanation to us. Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Tang, distinguished guest participant. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are moving on to the last session, the last keynote speaker. So for the last keynote speaker, we will have Professor Dr. Rohiyati Murniningsih. She is currently as a lecturer at the Faculty of Economic and Business, Universitas Muhammadiyah Magelang. She is also the Dean at the Faculty of Economic and Business, Universitas Muhammadiyah Magelang. Short about his biography, she is concerned with the research in the field of small, medium enterprises, sustainability, entrepreneurship, and strategic management. Her previous experience is involved in several regional government assistant activity. Also, Professor Murni here stand as a chairman for several research scheme and community services funded by the ministry and by the government. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Professor Murni to deliver his topic and presentation to us. Professor Murni, are you here with us?
Thank you, Mr. Hari.
Welcome, Professor Murni, to the platform. So, Professor Bunda, you will have 45 minutes, Bunda, for the presentation, and after that we will continue with the Q&A session. Bunda, platform
Thank
is
you.
yours.
Yes, thank you. Please share slide from admin.
Okay, can you help us to share the screen, please?
Yes.
The operator. Okay, here Bunda. Okay.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable Prof. Muhammad Iqbal bin Abdul Wahab, Honorable Prof. Tang Sumai, as another keynote speaker in Borobudur International Symposium, and Mr. Hari Abdul Hakim, moderator of Borobudur International Symposium. Thank you. Thank you for the chance that allow me standing here also as keynote speaker. The topic of Borobudur International Symposium with the time smart of sustainable strategy sustainable synergy of environmental friendly technology and digital society was very interesting. I tried to study the topic according to my expertise in small medium enterprise and entrepreneurship. COVID-19 increased the problem of pollution and destruction of nature, the difficulty of natural resource, poverty, access, food limitation, and others. This condition encourage the enterprise, greenpreneur enterprise, who can solve this problem. So I hope the topic of greenpreneur is relevant to topic Borobudur International Symposium. Thank you. Now I presented my paper titled Green Entrepreneur and the role of small medium enterprise in sustainable business. Ladies and gentlemen, Sustainable Development Goals is an agenda that has been mutually agreed upon since the ratification of the United Nations in 2015. There is one main target and 169 target for 2015 to 2030. SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, apply universally to all countries taking part, including Indonesia. The main principle of SDGs is leave no one behind. SDGs are designed to involve all development actors, government, civil society, civil organization, private sector, youth, etc., including small, medium enterprise. Next slide, please. So, how are small, medium enterprise sustainable business? If you care about environmental issue and the welfare of the community, business with this principle can expand market, build consumer trust and loyalty, and even facilitate export access. This business principle helps build the image of the product, the trend of consumer who begin to care about environmental and social issues when they decide to use a product. The principle of sustainability, such as organic, eco-friendly, and social approach to the protection of God. Next slide. No. Green entrepreneurship, a solution to generate small medium enterprise performance. During the COVID pandemic, many small medium enterprise failed, and the concept of social enterprise image business actor with a social spirit, care, empathy for other business actor, help each other get back on their feet. A social enterprise is a business that use commercial strategies, profit-oriented, to improve financial, social, and environmental welfare. People attention began to shift from a business that aimed a profit a lot to one that benefit to surrounding environment. So social enterprise is what gave rise to green entrepreneurship. The pandemic raised problem pollution and destruction of nature, the difficulty of natural resource, poverty, access, food limitation, and other. And so the name is social entrepreneur and green entrepreneurship. The next. Nah, Green entrepreneurship is a series of activities to solve environmental or social problems through innovative creative ideas that have a positive impact on the environment and social life of the community while providing benefit to company organization. A characteristic of green entrepreneurship dare to take risks to release these ideas. He has great motivation and concern to solve environmental and social problems. He has which the main activity in of his business. He has strategies that can provide solution to environmental and social problem, strike for sustainability, positive contribution to environment and society. Next slide, please. Now, impact of green entrepreneurship, a business that applies the concept of green entrepreneurship is expected to have an impact of these 5 things: planet, people, practice, prudence, and profit. The next. Okay. Impact, first impact, planet. Your business must be beneficial to many people, both inside and outside your business. Your business is expected to be a catalyst or trigger for improving community welfare. Your business is expected to be a catalyst, a trigger for improving community welfare. Without a welfare impact on society, you will not get support for the survival of your business. Okay, next slide. Second impact, planet. It's very necessary for your business to be involved in protecting the planet where we live. Your business must be friendly to the environment. It doesn't destroy, does not pollute, does not destroy the environment. Your business must contribute to effort to preserve the environment. Next slide. Green entrepreneur third impact practice. Your business must be run with good practice in mind. Business must follow rules, be ethical, and conform to good norms. Business must adapt to a local value because each region has different rule, custom, and ethical norm. Next slide. Fourth impact, prudence. Business decision making should be done wisely and carefully. Business decision making must also consider the long-term impact. Business decision making must consider ethic, prudence. Yeah. Okay, next slide. Next slide. Yeah, what's impact? Profit. Your business must have enough profit to run its operation. The profit generated must be sustainable, not just a momentary profit. Okay, next slide. Okay. Green entrepreneur and small medium enterprise. Why green entrepreneur related to small medium enterprise performance? First, small companies make a significant contribution to its country economic. Second, the environmental impact of the small business sector cannot be underestimated. Third, the theory of environmental management and environmental management produced by large company cannot necessarily be applied to small scale compares. Fourth, the literature on the environment and business tends to ignore the importance and specificity of small scale enterprise. Next slide. Okay, the challenge of green entrepreneur and small medium enterprise. 60% of industrial pollution is produced by small medium enterprise, and small medium enterprise player do not understand the importance of behavior change. 70% of global pollution is generated by small medium enterprise. But the role of small medium enterprise in sustainable development is often overlooked. The large number of small medium enterprise cause environmental problem because there are no regulation related to the environmental management system. Many small medium enterprise have not paid attention to the impact of their economic activity, production, consumption, and distribution on the environment. Mary Vance states in her research report for innovation solution that small medium enterprise are estimated to be responsible for 80% of the impact of environmental damage in industry and more than 60% of commercial waste. The next slide. Okay, in Indonesia, environmental damage due to human economic activity is already at an alarming level. According to the result of the survey 2018, there are 10 environmental problems faced by Indonesia, namely garbage, floods, river pollution, global warming, air pollution, damage to marine ecosystem, clean water difficult, forest destruction, abrasion, and soil pollution. Okay, the next slide. Small medium enterprise with the principle of green entrepreneurship will be better able to open business opportunity and increase competitiveness. Survey Nelson, 81% of consumer all age level, men and women, consider it important when the company care about environment. Consumer concern in Asia Pacific countries is higher than in European and North American countries. The next slide. Okay. Next slide, Mr. Hari. Okay. Green entrepreneurship in small medium. Hillary classified the various benefits of green entrepreneurship: internal benefit and external benefit. Internal benefit provide derived from the internal operation of small medium enterprise are divided into 3 categories. First, organizational benefit, e.g. improving working condition and safety. Second, financial benefit, cost saving from material efficiency. Third, human benefit, etc. External benefit fall into 3 categories. First, commercial benefit, gaining a competitive marketing advantage. And second, environmental benefit, reduce pollution. And third, communication benefit, creating a positive public image. Next slide. Factor inhibiting a person from become a green entrepreneur. First, lack of information. Second, lack of knowledge and willingness to share information. Third, lack of awareness. Fourth, limited public funding. Obstacle perceived by novice business people to become greenpreneur include a lack of knowledge that ecological issue, a lack of awareness of exciting market potential, and limited financial resource to promote green product. Okay, next. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, barriers perceived by novice business people to become greenpreneur include lack of knowledge about ecological issue, lack of awareness of existing market potential, as well as limited financial problem to promote greenpreneur. And in this slide, trigger or driving factor for someone to become a greenpreneur, many factors. First, green value, and second, gap in the market. Third, making a living, thoughts be their on boss and passion. So, the next slide. How does green entrepreneur spur small medium enterprise sustainability? How does green entrepreneur spur small medium enterprise sustainability? Being a greenpreneur is the answer to effort to develop the ethical behavior of entrepreneur to pay attention to the environment when running a business. According to a Conrad, there are three elements that encourage the initiative of an entrepreneur to have a greenpreneur spirit, namely, first, green innovation, green commitment, green opportunity, green innovation, green commitment, and green opportunity. So, next slide. How can we increase the role of small medium enterprise through green entrepreneurship? Okay, there are several factors. There are several factors that encourage someone to become a green entrepreneur. First factor, organizational or managerial support. Second factor, technology. Third factor, finance and economics. Yeah. Fourth factor, external partnership and stakeholder engagement. Five factor, government support. Six factor is market and customer. And seven factor, barrier related to knowledge and information. Next slide. Conclusion. As small medium enterprise plays such an important role in the country's economic growth, it is important to study and discover the driver and barriers to sustainable business practice. It is necessary to understand the motivation and barrier faced by small medium enterprise in implementing sustainable green entrepreneur practice to provide insight for small medium enterprise to discover the key factor influencing the implementation of sustainable business approach and their management practice. Okay, Mr. Harris, thank you for I do hope this paper, particularly Borobudur International Symposium, generally can contribute, although not that much, at both education and development on Indonesia. Once more, I thank the committee for the time and participating in this symposium. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ari.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bunda. Thank you so much for the very deep discussion also from Bunda. Ladies and gentlemen, I do so sorry I have to limit in the last session because after this we have to announce to all the participants regarding on this on the evening agenda for the online Q&A forum. But Bunda, we have 3 questions here, Bunda. So maybe I prefer to choose 2 questions only, Bunda. Okay, for the discussion, and after that we will continue with the announcement, Bunda. Okay, Bunda. The first question it is comes from Mrs. maybe Sri Haryanti. She asks about the pharmacy business has many regulations that must be met. So currently in the BPJS era, Bunda, so can this business still be expected to provide profit, Bunda? So what do you think about this situation, Bunda? From okay, Bunda, you still mute the microphone.
Thank you. Wait a minute. Okay.
The pharmacy business has many regulations that must be met. So currently in the BPJS era, can this business still be expected to provide profit?
Okay. Second mana sih? Okay. Okay, Mr. Hari. Question from
From Miss Sri Haryanti, Bunda.
Oh, Okay, Sri Haryanti, business formation has many regulations that must be met. Currently, in the BPJS era, can this business still be expected to provide to provide profit? What do you think? Okay, Sri Haryanti, thank you for your response. BPJS that must banyak farmasi ya BPJS ya. Tunggu. Apa tadi pertanyaan? Okay, currently can this business still be? Okay, in Indonesian, Mr. Hari, bisnis farmasi banyak regulasi yang mungkin ditemui khususnya di BPJS. Bisnis ini tidak mendatangkan keuntungannya. Saya berpendapat Pak Mas Hari, Bu Sri Haryanti terkait dengan farmasi di BPJS ini, meskipun ada beberapa pemikiran yang harus kita perhatikan, namun demikian bisnis farmasi dengan banyak regulasi itu memang membatasi beberapa kesempatan dari bisnis farmasi itu untuk mengembangkan. Tapi sedikit banyak kalau untuk green business, jadi farmasi itu dikembangkan dari beberapa materi, beberapa resource dari lokal, misalnya terkait rempah dan lain sebagainya, itu tentu akan memberi kesempatan yang besar bagi pelaku small medium enterprise, khususnya yang di farmasi. Jadi sekarang mungkin keluhannya BPJS kenapa membatasi itu gitu ya, masih membatasi beberapa yang harus kalau itu tidak obat yang dari kimia, obat yang tidak dari itu maka tidak tercover BPJS mungkin ya, maksudnya begitu. Sementara small medium enterprise banyak bergeraknya di bidang yang bisnis berkearifan lokal. Nah, ini yang harus diperhatikan. Mungkin memang masukan kita terhadap peraturan-peraturan pemerintah yang bisa mensupport green business itu harus kita tekan terus, harus kita suarakan terus. Mungkin itu Ibu Sri Haryanti yang bisa saya kasih.
Okay,
Apalagi Mas
thank you very much, Professor Murni. So it by means we have to criticize regarding on the huge or many regulation are applied for the pharmacy business, isn't it? To do not limit regarding on the pharmaceutical access for the patient. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we are moving for the last question. Bunda, we still have the last question about the how from Farah. I think from Farah here. How can small business adopt sustainable and eco-friendly practices to not only reduce their environment impact but also enhance their brand image and appeal to environmentally conscious consumer? From Farah, Bunda.
Ya, thank you, Mr. Hari. Terima kasih responnya, Farah. How can small business adopt sustainable and eco-friendly practice to not only reduce their environment impact but also enhance their brand image? Saat ini sudah banyak pergeseran preferensi konsumennya. Konsumen tidak hanya memakai satu produk, tapi dia juga sudah punya preferensi bahwa saya akan berkontribusi pada lingkungan saya. Sehingga saat ini edukasi iklan terkait dengan keberlanjutan lingkungan, keberlanjutan sumbangan kita terhadap kerusakan lingkungan itu sangat membantu pergeseran preferensi konsumen. Konsumen akan dengan sangat senang akan turut berkontribusi jika dia memakai produk yang itu sangat support pada kelestarian lingkungan. Oleh karena itu, pergeseran preferensi konsumen ini harus kita tangkap di dalam perkembangan small business, sehingga itu akan bisa menaikkan brand image kita dan juga akan seterusnya menjamin sustainability dari small medium enterprise yang kita lakukan. Demikian Farah, mungkin itu Mas Hari.
Okay, thank you Bunda for the answer for Farah's question, Bunda. So Bunda, do we can still have one more question or we finish until here, Bunda? Because there is
Finish.
Wahid Ibrahim asked for the question. Okay,
Mana?
maybe the discussion we can continue through the email later. The discussion, Bunda.
Mm-mm.
Okay, ladies and
Thank you.
gentlemen, I do
Oh,
so
ini.
sorry to again to stop the discussion with Professor Hiyati Murniningsi, because after this I will have several announcements regarding on the evening agenda. So Bunda, thank you so much for the explanation and also the discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, let's us give a round of applause to Professor Rohiyati Murniningsi for the very meaningful and enlightening presentation. Okay,
Okay.
Bunda, thank you so much.
Dr.
Then you can
Hari.
leave for the
Thank you.
platform. Okay, thank you, Bunda. Distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, before we already finished for 3 presenters, all the okay, can you hear my voice? Because I saw the display is not moving.
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, you can hear my voice, right?
Yes,
Okay.
clear.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now my turn to inform you regarding on the guidelines on the evening event for the online Q&A forum. So you can download from the website bis.unima.ic.id. So you can download for the manual books regarding for this afternoon activity. First of all, so Q&A forum here, we mentioned about the aims. The aims is to share about the research finding, also to getting feedback of the research finding from other members. And the last one is building a network with other colleagues in the same area of the research. So, distinguished guests, the discussion later in evening, we will start from 1 to 3 p.m. Jakarta time. So, the mechanism will be conducted asynchronously through the configured system. So you must log in into your accounts, and after that you can choose and try to find the interested video with provided by the committee. So the video presented on the configured have been arranged based on the topic, because we have several topic in our conference. So you can choose for the example, if you from the law science, so you can find the topic, the discussion, the video which explains about your expertise. So after that, you also may how to say send the question, and after that you are obliged to respond the question deliver or address to your video. So how the way, so you can also find on user manual online Q&A forum here how to ask the question. First of all, you have to log in into your account and kindly click here about online Q&A forum. And the second one, to ask the question, or maybe you would like to give the feedback to the presenter. So you click again here about ask new question. First of all, click online Q&A forum and you can find here ask new question. Okay, and after that, you can find here Q&A forum. There is a number here. If you found number 1, 2, 3, or etc., so it by means someone asks or give a feedback to your video. So you can click here to find the question, to find the suggestion, maybe the discussion regarding on your presentation. Okay, and after that you can write here about the feedback, the question maybe, or the answer also. You can write here. We give a maximum 2,000 characters to write about the discussion. So how to answer the question? As the same as before, first of all, you have to log into your system and find for online Q&A forum But to answer the question, you have to click my Q&A here. Okay. So after that, click view conversation like the example here. So then you can find the question and you may reply or give the answer regarding on the question, discussion, and etc. given to your video. And the last one, please kindly submit your answer or your discussion, because if you do not click this one, so the message will not send or will not answer the question from other party. So ladies and gentlemen, so after you have the deep discussion, maybe you can reply for more than one time if you are interested to the video, to the topic, to the discussion, and then you have to make a communication or conversation from 1 to 3 p.m. actually. But also you can find another interested video as your expertise. So ladies and gentlemen, the last but not least, do not forget to document it all the communication, all the activity during the Q&A forum. You have to make a documentation, and after that you have to send all the documented activity and send it to the link here. You can find it in the manual book from the website. So I think that's all for the short introduction, I think, or guidance for this evening event. So after this, we also would like to announce that after we finish the keynote speaker session, so please to all participants, kindly stay at the main room. Okay, do not left directly from the Zoom meeting, but you have to return back to the main room because we will have the closing session for morning event. And also maybe there will be another announcement from the committee for further and detailed information regarding on the evening event. So I think that's all from me. Thank you so much for your participation and also for your availability to join this activity. I mean, to join the 5th Borobudur International Symposium. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I'm Hari, and see you again in the near future in another activity, especially with Universitas Muhammadiyah Magelang. And thank you so much. Let's close our meeting today by reciting hamdalah together. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Thank you. Billahi fisabilil haq fastabiqul khairat. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Hari.
Thank you so
Salam.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you again. Please kindly remain stay at the
Makasih, thank you Pak. Thank you Pak. Thank you Pak Hari.
Please everyone, you can return back to the meeting. Please for another finish.
Unima always takes concrete actions to create synergy and collaboration with the community. In addition, Unima also partners with stakeholders and the industrial sector to facilitate and provide convenience for the students. We realize that every individual is unique with different talents and interests. Therefore, Unima provides opportunities for students to develop themselves to be the best through their interests and talents, both academic and non-academic. We embrace our diversity, growing the future together. For Indonesia and for the world. Unima, moving and inspiring.
I would like to say thank you very much to all the speakers for their presentations. We have gained a lot of insights from today's seminar, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much to Mrs. Pristi Sukma Setia Eskom Mkom and also Mr. Hari Abdul Hakim SHLLM, who have made today's seminar more meaningful with their guidance. All right, ladies and gentlemen and participants whom we respect, today's morning agenda will be closed, and after this we will break first until 1 p.m. and we'll continue to the afternoon program at 1 p.m. until 3 p.m. with a question and answer session. But before we close this morning's agenda, we will share some information for all of you here. Best Presenter will be announced on December 18, 2023 through the website bis.unima.ac.id. Souvenirs will be sent as soon as possible after you fill in the souvenir delivery address via Google Forms. And for more information, please join the WhatsApp group and monitor emails regularly. That is all the information, and don't forget to join us again on YouTube or Zoom at 3 p.m. because after the Q&A session, we will give a technical clinic related to full paper submission. Ladies and gentlemen, thus the series of activities on today's morning agenda for the 5th Borobudur International Symposium 2023 in conjunction with Interconnects. If I make a mistake in delivering words that are unagreeable to the hearts of all participants, I sincerely apologize. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.